On the 21st of October 1978, over Bass Strait, Australian pilot Frederick Valentich vanished after reporting a strange, fast-moving object that seemed to orbit his Cessna 182. Despite an intensive search, neither Valentich nor his aircraft was ever found, turning a routine flight into one of Australia's most enduring aviation mysteries. The dramatic radio exchange and the ensuing silence have fueled decades of speculation about UFOs, atmospheric phenomena, and the fate of missing pilots. I invite you to dive deeper into the detailed account. Tonight the Melbourne Centre hummed with the slow pulse of radios and red warning lights. I was an air traffic controller, watching the Bass Strait on a grey crystal night. The sea breathed against the coastline, and the room felt as still as a held breath. Then a voice cut through, uncertain and urgent, and everything changed. I watched the Moorabbin departure slip off the radar as Valentich's Cessna 182 climbed toward King Island. The sky darkened, the wind hissed through vents, and the horizon yielded no easy answers. A young pilot with a plan, a dream to carve his name into the map, and history bending toward the unknown. His voice came again, careful, almost tentative, telling us of a light that moved with him, an object with a metallic sheen gliding beside the airframe. He spoke of speed beyond any normal craft, of a glow that didn't belong to the ordinary night. My hands tightened on the headset, and the silence after unsettled me. Then the words changed. The thing appeared to orbit his plane. We checked the screens for anomalies, opened radar data, and listened as he described a presence that defied conventional flight. The room felt suddenly small, and the sea's vastness seemed to lean closer, listening with us. Valentich asked for radar contact and reassurance as the scene unfolded. His voice carried resolve, fear, and the stubborn pride of someone who would not surrender the sky. I kept my responses calm, guiding him as best I could while trying not to imagine the unseen thing closing in. Then the last exchange came, crisp and foreign to rhythm. Not an aircraft, not a bird, something else, orbiting. The words hung in the air, and for a moment the room held its breath. I pressed the microphone, tried to coax him to tell us where he was, where the object was, and then silence swallowed him. Search and rescue swung into action as dusk fell. The RAAF joined civilians in a line across Bass Strait, charting every patch of sea for a glint of metal or a smoke trail. The wind rose, and rain skittered across radar screens, but we found nothing but darkness and doubt. For days, ships and aircraft plowed the sea, listening for engines or debris, tracking search grids that felt endless. The weather mocked us with squalls and sudden clearings. A young pilot's fate hung over us like a question mark, while the ocean answered with nothing but cold water and memory. Months wore on, and the case moved from urgency to haunting curiosity. The logbooks remained, the echo of Valentich's voice persisted, and the world kept spinning. I watched investigators sift rumors from facts, knowing some questions would never have answers. Speculation rode the edges of every report, but the file never grew wings. The official record stayed firm, no trace of Valentich or his aircraft. Yet the night remained a hinge in our minds, turning whenever a light crossed the sea and reminded us of the void between signal and response. Living with this memory changed how I measured the sky. I learned to listen for the space between words, to respect what lies beyond radar and routine. The control room glowed, and I carried Valentich's call as a cautious badge, proof that we can see more than we can name. Time did not erase the murmur of that transmission. Ufologists spoke in forums and documentaries, but I heard it as a moment when a boy's ambition met a night that would not answer. I refused to mock the truth of the room, even if the truth lay beyond science. Even now, in quiet evenings by the terminal, I listen for the old channels and imagine the slim frame of Valentich's plane slipping into the Bass Strait's shadow. The case persists in memory, not as spectacle, but as a reminder. There are skies we cannot fully map. That night taught me humility before the vast unknown. I carry Valentich's call like a lantern against the dark, an ache and a warning that the world is larger, older, and stranger than our charts. If anything remains with me, it is the resolve to listen and to remember.